of lines of sight. You're really playing to gain full sight control rather than looking for fights. And while that may work out well for Rat Attack on the attack, they're actually starting on the Rat defense. So we're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. Early wall goes and attaches itself in the back of B site all the way into Arcade. So in theory, that does lock it out. However, on a map like Fracture, Squirtle Squad still has 3 different areas that they could execute from at minimum.
I think this is great too because you got 2 different environments for 2 different Pokemon types. So it plays very well into the theme here, but yeah, already on Fracture, you can see they're taking just a straight up approach towards B. Although again, having Velocity as that Viper, honestly, they could stall with the Molly or 2.
You're absolutely right. Entry comes in. Governor, though, completely ignoring the site, takes the fight and spawn, and Temperature, the floater falls.
Yeah, already making such a big impact coming down on the site. And again, Raze seeming to be one of the best agents to put on Fracture, but Velocity even better. Pissed around looking great. They're already making their mark here, and their name will not be said. At least as of yet, Governor takes him down.
2v2 though, all that action dissipating away. The Seas comes by and Weeded just barely avoids it.
Yeah, difficult fight to win here, unfortunately so, but that was really good. I mean, that was really Velocity's round to win.
What a wild battle. Wait, I just realized what I said. I guess it is kind of like a wild battle there, but all things considered, really good start for Rat Attack. I'm already surprised about how much stopping power Velocity had on that play with Viper. And even though there wasn't a lot of utility-based stuff, just the Viper wall alone, backing out towards the very end of that B connector, even though we mentioned how much it affects the inside of Arcade, it still did affect B main with the wall and the orb to prevent 2 essential sentinels from pushing site. But now A site might be open. Look at all that utility pressure that's placed down on B. You have to stack up 3 there, and that might turn into these plays to be very predictable for Squirtle Squad to take over.
Yeah, but an investment, as you can see, towards Squirtle Squad, which I'm loving, to be honest with you, because not a lot of, you know, risky types of plays are taken a majority of the time, and I feel like we've been seeing that a lot here coming in, you know, the second day of LCQ.
Great take to the site. Temperature good for 1, but look at this. Full map control, and this is where you need those double controllers to come into play.
Yeah, already doing a good job at being able to limit the players and the amount of people trying to get themselves onto the site. But Squirtle Squad, there is a bit of that hesitation from Okeanos trying to get that jiggle pick in, knowing that Adder's right behind. But even with the save, I mean, they buy and they lose the economy once again.
A really good retake yet again. And a lot of it hasn't even gone down to the controller play. I mean, sure, we're 2 rounds in. Utility's still not fully bought by anybody just yet. But Squirtle Squad, they've gone fast 2 different rounds in a row, and each time Rat Attack, even despite losing the opening pick, I believe both rounds, they've been able to just collapse onto the site. They go for full crunches, they play for the gunfights, and they disenfranchise Squirtle Squad too. They isolate those 1v1s. That being said again, Squirtle Squad, they're going to choose to re-engage outside B main yet again. No changes for Rat Attack in where they're placing themselves at the start of the round. Just a little bit more aggressive from Cab's end.
Yeah, this time though, I mean, there has to be a little bit more confidence in terms of peeking through, but again, yeah, right, you see the Spectres, you see the Stingers coming down. I mean, slowly reinvesting once again, trying to get this round back into their grasps as it should be. And they do such a good job. I mean, they managed to take multiple players out as they try that execution, but then again, there still is a fight waiting on the site.
Yeah, Harmful missing the shots. Rat Attack choosing to disengage and go for a reset. They're down a body right now, and that allows Squirtle Squad to take full control of the site. They don't have sand control, though. A good chance for maybe looping around for Velocity's end towards A main, but the shot come by and force everyone to stay at their ground.
Here.
Yeah, temperature's super low at this point, so even peeking out might be a detriment for the team. This is it for Cab. I mean, they slowly work out, but unfortunately both players are low enough to the point where Harmful just needs a body shot to end things off. And there it is.
Not too bad, not too shabby. A buy-up round there. Hopefully in the hands. Should have been one for Squirtle Squad, and it was. But now with full rifles out, it's certainly not the most audacious buy coming out from either team. Yes, there's full rifles from Rat Attack, but otherwise, you have 2 Vandals for Squirtle Squad despite winning their first round, and the buys everywhere else are just Bulldogs and Spectres. And there we go, we saw the attempted Wardell Blast Pack peek. Didn't quite work out, though, in that favor, but Harmful again. The shots towards the back, we're seeing glimpses of the lurking Cypher, and Rat Attack need to read into that. Despite having the double controller, they're not able to block off all that vision. It's a B main exec once again, possibly. The sky smokes are down. This small rotate, a little adventure right down below. No noise, no audio, not even a tripwire or a camera to see where any of these plays could come out from Squirtle Squad. It leaves B, the tower, completely open. The knife goes out and Governor's ready for the peek, but no one's there.
Yeah, that's actually huge information too, because Governor can execute down inside of that tower, feeling a bit more confident than they did before. Hellfire coming down, although nobody taking out Orbital Strike. I mean, being able to zone out any players quite possibly, but at the same time, just doing the job.
Doing the job and doing the job well. Holding the site. Spike goes down yet again. More money in the pockets of Squirtle Squad, but look how far back everyone is playing. Looking for those lineups. Oh. No, the showstopper shut down!
Cage triggered.
They still have the site though, which is great, although now they have to try to at least take these players out. Velocity! This is great. Vipers pit down, they take off too now. Not even getting caught up by the Rolling Thunder. They still managed to do a great job. But the Fusel still needs to come down. Not even halfway through yet. Governor just needs to spray. The pings are there. Manages to take out the one. Some damage, but Velocity is there. And if he didn't get that half, he wouldn't have been able to get the win.
Huge props to Velocity. These 2 rounds where the exact was B. Shutting it. Not only have we seen in open quals a lot of teams just solo holding with Cypher and getting 4Ks or even an ace, but when you add Cypher and Viper together, there's almost no way of not retaking it or holding the site. That Viper's pit, using it to create space and strafe alongside it to find, I believe that was, yeah, it was Okeanos, shutting that down, reorienting yourself with no information at all on the side of Squirtle Squad. They weren't able to find any sort of impact. But there we go again. Early Prowler comes out. Good for the showstopper. This one at least connects but doesn't find any damage. But this is very aggressive.
Aggressive, still waiting around. Okay, Temperature sitting just up above. They know where they are, but then again, right? It's so hard to pick these fights because once you open doors, somebody's holding the angle on you and you get taken out in a matter of seconds. Cavern proving my point.
Already 2 bodies gone for Squirtle Squad. Still waiting to see if Harmful or, well, anybody really pushes up Satellite, and Temperature would be right. The headshot is there. The skull of Harmful gone. It's not going to stop what's left of Squirtle Squad, though. Or maybe it does. There's only one left. It's down to Weeded Gompers.
We talk about the story of the underdogs, and it seems like they're the big dogs here. Like, they're playing like they know this team. Like the back of their hands, but honestly, Weeded doesn't even know what's going on right now. Just hearing the shots, being scared, but they know where they are.
No smokes to work with either.
Corner.
That dark cover does help Weeded if he wants to escape. But there's only 30 seconds left.
Right here.
Stuck in smoke too. I mean, the spike in hand, they could go for that rotation whenever they please, but right now, I mean, time a little bit too late. The spray is stalling them just within that corner. They know that once they peek, this could be it. 13 seconds left, but the fight's, I mean, not even able to be won out.
And these holds again. Same story of Fracture that we've seen all qualifiers so far. Shut down the attackers. Just look for that opening pick. That's all you gotta do. It just seriously stifles the momentum that a lot of the attack really needs to get these rounds going. But we haven't seen a lot of wild rotations yet from Squirtle Squad. And this was something that other teams in the past have been able to do really well, but once again, you shut down, say, your Rays, we haven't seen those rotations. It's mostly just, well, let's just try to reset and go for it again. But maybe this time we can see something different. Another arcade side setup again for Squirtle Squad. Camera, the tripwire, everything's placed down to deny the flank, but one of them will be almost activated by the Prowler. I'm not sure if Harmful was aware of that. Maybe just barely. But there's an aggressive attack coming out from Rat Attack's side on A main. And there's that first tripwire. It's now gone. Everyone else playing a silent game from Squirtle Squad's end as they try to poke up the site. Weeded's ready for the orbital strike, though.
No, not gonna expend it just yet. I mean, there can't really be an execution. It's so difficult to do so. If the orbital comes out, though, it really could break anybody's positioning here. And Governor trying to fight for their life. They won it out, at least. Coming through here, but Velocity left alone. 16 health. They peek through everything going down at once. And left alone, you got Cavern. Although Ultimate being expended. Tether's giving away some of the location, at least one.
But no Prowlers.
I know exactly where you are.
And Neural Theft. In a 1v2. The stakes are still high no matter what. Squirtle Squad needs to win this round, even at the cost of Cypher's ult.
One enemy remaining.
Oof.
3.
Yeah, rough on 2. Peeking Okeanos. In a very, very predominant corner, but the last bullet of the Phantom. It's gone, and it's on Okeanos' head.
And that was at the cost of the Neural Theft too. Both players last left alive knew exactly where Cavern was, and they chose to go for the 1v1s. The strafe shot, the confidence there. Yeah, I can take the fight. And it would have worked well had the angles just been held a little bit more defensively. And that's what we call an eBay clutch. Wow. Let's see this one more time.
But this was great, actually, too, because, you know, Velocity stuck in a corner and really just relying on the teammates to kind of play that cross hold. But yeah, Cavern, just insane.
We do have a bit of a pause here. Do want to keep note of the ultimates that we have for both sides. There is an orbital strike from the side of Squirtle Squad, and there was an Into the Shadows, and I believe a Neural Theft too. So a lot of information, a lot of repositioning for Rat Attack, and for a team that hasn't needed to really use either of those ultimates to achieve those factors, they've done a really good job shutting down B-Site.
Yeah, and honestly, doing a really good job at just controlling the game and the pacing here. I definitely feel like Rat Attack is coming on very strong on this team of Squirtle Squad. So, you know, again, making a name for themselves, which was what they came to do.
Yeah, look at the buys again. Sheriffs, a Stinger. No ultimates likely to be used this round. Just farming your orbs at this point, it's more important than anything else. And playing together as a squad's also good. You're able to take those trades and maybe remove a lot of valuable guns away from Rat Attack. But if there's anything we've learned so far, again, it's that these opening 45 or so seconds are the most pivotal rounds for these attackers. They made sound with the orb on satellite. Still 3 bodies postured outside. The Prowler possibly baited out towards A main 2 against Cabot's. Make everyone on Rat Attack think they're still on A.
Oh, but Governor works up. And still, having nobody behind, it kind of creates a weird situation. But at the end of the day, right, the spacing has been taken. Governor created that distraction, and everybody got that refrag. So everything is good right there. And then Temperature getting a little bit lucky there with the shots, but straight through the wall, Adder goes down.
And look at all the sky smokes are down. No one could see a dang thing on the site. Okeanos avoiding the boombot.
Yeah, with a lot going on. Down in the corner. They know these positionings that these players are taking harmful. I mean, hitting the shots, but having the Sheriffs who can't do much. And 6-1, that's a big gap, Keg.
It is, and it's the same story that we've been seeing over and over again. Rat Attack, they were maybe to an extent baited out to stay on A just in case, but everyone that was staying on A at the beginning of the round ended up being the clutch factor and surviving at the end to defuse on B site. Squirtle Squad, they've tried to play aggressive on both Arcade and A main, and all of these have been shut down so fast. No matter what we've seen, these entries from Governor, they're being shut down. And you have to wonder now, what could the play be? Now, we did see a technical pause, but I'm wondering now with the scoreline dividing out so far, if this keeps going in Rat Attack's favor, we need to see attack timeout come out in the next round or so.
Yeah, they're taking their time with this one, surprisingly enough, but having the Vandals, this is the last chance. Actually, not really. The economy's looking pretty perfect for Rat Attack, but yeah, last chance here for Squirtle Squad to be able to make their mark. They have the op from Harmful, so maybe this will change things up. Pacing just a bit.
Yeah, and keep in mind too that Squirtle Squad are facing against unorthodox utility. Omen smokes, a Viper wall. You're not expecting that on Fracture for LCQ.
Yeah, but all-on attack is pretty hard to deal with, right? I mean, obviously, Harmful taking a bit of a passive approach standing here. If anybody peeks through, that's the oppositioning that they want to take. But sitting behind, we did. Taking the shot right before they managed to take it. Governor a bit too late with the frag, but still peeking through. This is the moment for Squirtle Squad to really take things in. But can they? I mean, they get a couple, even this 2v4, there is that potential with the op as well. And I mean, all these angles being covered, so really just up to the one here. And Cabates, yep, just goes down.
A great take again. Again, disrespecting the utility setup to stop an aggressive push towards Arcade.
Right there.
Rat Attack, though. They're good for the half already. But for Squirtle Squad, it's another mountain to climb. One off from the showstopper from Governor. And Governor was just playing whack-a-mole on site, just waiting for the 1v1 pushes. And everyone just started lining up for him on Canteen side. But if Rat Attack can play a little bit more closer together, a little bit more tight-knit for those retakes like they have previous rounds, who is to say this isn't a 10-2 half? But I do like this. This is an adjustment from Squirtle Squad. They're now playing differently and going in the group of 2-2. No singular lurk, and Harmful has the op. They just shut down the most aggressive part of Rat Attack's defense.
Not only that, but I mean, now that you know that Harmful has the op, and Harmful is quite literally living up to the expectations of their name, you gotta be a bit more careful playing that aggressive angle on Fracture, which is quite literally what this map was made for.
And here's that Tripwire coming into possession. The first time we've seen somewhat of a flank. The camera and Tripwire go down. But the information's already found. You don't know how many people are in the back lines of Arcade, but you know there's at least one. And so Rat Attack have that 4-round lead. It's gonna go down to a 3-round lead, but at least they get to keep their weapons. And if they find any exits, Cavern could be good for the Nightfall going to the next round, or even Hijinks with that showstopper. But for Squirtle Squad, this is looking like, for all intents and purposes, a Sheets flawless round. They haven't lost any bodies here. B-site in their control yet again. And it brings in the question, Gompers. You have Omen Util. You have possibly Governor in a fight. You have Viper Util to deny those lines of sight. And even Cypher, and yet somehow still Squirtle Squad are finding a lot of ease in pushing the B.
Yeah, still there's, you know, so many ultimates left to use here for Squirtle Squad to continue to take these back. And the thing is really just distributing them properly enough to the point where, you know, they have that impact, but you could also space them out a bit to the point where you get that 6-6 that you're looking for.
But there is another adjustment, though. Rat Attack now have Viper Util set up on A. Now there's two, in a sense, Sentinels holding two different sites. The one area you can't protect, though, is a Viper. It's going to be the top of Satellite. The same 4-1 split yet again. Harmful on the lurk with an op, no less. Everyone else just playing it slow and tactical, avoiding the orb, not making a single sound. No Viper orb on top of Satellite either.
Fire in the hole!
Yeah, Governor coming up on it. And the thing is, it's trying to really just take out Extremities, but I didn't even think they saw Temperature sitting within that corner.
Spike planted.
And everyone from Rat Attack, they were forced to back off before even the execute happened.
Out of charges.
Still in a good position, though. Sitting just below. I mean, catching that off guard, some damage to really be left over for Adder to take, and it's done for Cabates. I mean, they tried their best to slowly break things open and apart, but still 2 players down in spawn, not even playing together, so no refrag. They're Harmful. Still left with the op, and there's so much. But, I mean, the moment Harmful picked up that operator was the moment that things started really to go down, and a Sheets flawless for Rat Attack. It is, my apologies for Squirtle Squad.
Yeah, Squirtle Squad learning to evolve, fight back now 6-6. 2 rounds left in the half. A lot of ultimates to work with. Rat Attack, I think, going very appropriately for a timeout here. They've been, again, great about their holds in retakes. And a lot of the battles for Fracture come down to those first few gunfights on any of the lanes of the map. But when you're able to find that one area, that one of 4 possible lanes to attack as an attacker that has 0 utility set up for it, that makes your life a lot easier. And with no Cypher util at the top of Satellite last round, everyone around Attack, sure, on a Thrifty, forced to disengage from the site and hopefully crunch it up with, you know, the best stingers they got. It wasn't enough. But from where the spike is right now, Squirtle Squad may try to re-engage on maybe Arcade again. It's looking like a 4-1 split. We don't know if anyone's going to go across the rope just yet. But Rat Attack, they found so much success in just collapsing on B. And even if it is a crunch from Squirtle Squad, they may have a really good attempt here with their ultimates to just make sure that you suffer on site.
Yeah, but already seeming like there is going to be, obviously, some of that partnership coming through. Actually, are they all going through ropes? Yeah, just really going straight forward towards B. and leaving the spike behind. So all they're looking for right here really isn't that execution, just looking for quite possibly those picks to come through. And maybe, actually, no, this is going to be a pretty aggressive take.
And there's a lot of post-plant util as well. The ultimates, the Rolling Thunder, the Orbital Strike, huge for Weed and Okeanos here. But it doesn't have to be a lineup. It doesn't have to be post-plant. They cut noise again after the util has gone out. Under and over. Weaving through. And Governor, the spearhead of this point, re-engaging over towards B main. Rat Attack tried to find some info outside Satellite, and while they don't know about A main, they have a really good idea about B. Look at Velocity's position, hiding away behind that Radiant Knight box. Just waiting for the contact off of Temperature.
Poison orb emitting.
Oh, and this is so close too, because you got a nice cross being held here for Rat Attack. The spray's coming down. I mean, managed to get some of that damage. But still, there's so much pressure here, but they're not giving up. Governor goes in on their own orbital strike.
What is going
some
on?
Of that damage down Velocity, just based off the orbital strike damage, along with being able to put that molly down. I mean, there wasn't much you could do with that.
Oh!
What?
Adder and Weeded are separated out. There's a giant moat in between them, and that's B site. Sky Smoke goes down, but the Neural Theft in return. Weeded has to make the attempt.
Yeah, still trying to shoot down whatever they can, but stuck within the crevice. There's nothing much you can do other than approach the situation. And I thought Weeded might have had a chance there, but you know, you can't really do much with Cabates right around the corner.
I mean, what an apocalyptic round to come through. Like, almost every single ultimate that anybody had on the server completely dissipated. You have Orbital Strike, you have Nightfall, you have everything but Cabot's Neural Theft used all at once, even the Rolling Thunder. And yet, through all of that, two of the most probably prized ultimates you can have as an attacker on this map wasted away by Okeanos and Weeded. And while they found some impact, they weren't able to convert the round. Rat Attack already very well set up for the second half. They just want to maybe get one more to bring it 8-4. The Squirtle Squad, they want to keep this competitive. And once again, they're going to try to go for B site yet again, where the double Sentinels are set up. Viper's pick goes down, shuts down a lot of what you can do, at least fast-paced wise for Arcade. And it's only leaving a singular lane covered in tripwires.
But it's so hard too, because the Viper's pit, I mean, does it even really matter when they're not executing towards that? That's just a complete smoke that just covers up an angle that they don't want to
They're not going B!
It helps them, but they're not. You're correct. They're just gonna keep running it down.
Oh, good lord. Temperature has to run away.
Oh, no. I'd be scared. I mean, with everybody just kind of running up on you, but Temperature, okay, down in the smoke, manages to take out Governor, so their duelist down, damage down. What are you gonna do? I mean, slowly but surely work your way up with Harmful. I mean, putting a risky play out here, fight still being taken left and right, nobody really assisting the other, spread out.
Temperature, he's been all over the map now. Hijinks falls. He has the most pressure on the pulse of the site, and he's good for one, but gets traded out. A 2v2. Look how separated out Rat Attack are, Velocity and Cabots on the other side of the maps from each other. But separation all the way through for both. Okeanos trying to have that coverage for Weeded, but has to check so many different angles. They could be above, they could be behind, anywhere. But I don't think they know about Satellite. Certainly not about Velocity with a single snake bite left.
Oh, Weeded, here's the drop.
One enemy remaining.
Puts the molly out, still trying to peek through. Cabates, last one alive. We know they have the clutch factor because they have before. And this is the second time that they managed to pull with this.
And Squirtle Squad at the very end of the half tried to find round success in chaos. And they couldn't convert it. The previous round, ultimates everywhere. You could not stay on B site without getting burned or nightfalled or even, you know, pushed away by a gigantic wave of seismic pressure. And this next round, I want to see this entry one more time. Paint Nade goes down to protect Governor for the entry. Just skirts his way onto the site, going through the defender spawn, and even then Temperature, acting like a child on the recess playground. Certainly more mature though, but just playing everywhere, using all the equipment to his abilities. The full mobility buff for bringing out an Omen instead of a Brimstone, a very unorthodox pick for this map, was beautiful to see. But I think I would have had more concerns about the defensive prowess of a Viper and Omen, despite what you can shut down. But for the attack, it's more about what you can gain.
I think biggest thing too, right? Like, we're in, again, a reminder round of upper 16. So, you know, they made it this far. They haven't been dropped down just yet. Rat Attack, you know, we talked about that underdog story. Again, like, you know, just really trying to keep things together. 8-4, they have the lead, but once the side switch, who's going to be the strongest?
Yeah, and for a lot of these teams, defensive rounds haven't come easily, but for Rat Attack, they have. Tagging rounds, though, has been a different story. And with already the setup right outside B main, there is a 3-person lurk now rushing towards the back of the execute. Harmful's good for 1 minute, gets traded out, but look at the squad behind. They're just playing for time, waiting for Governor and Co to push up.
Yeah, push up scum. I mean, they got the spike planted. I'm surprised everybody's actually waiting just within tower there, because that's going to be a lot harder to kind of situate yourselves, especially with Adder watching right around. Everybody slowly peeks, and it does seem like Rat Attack, they managed to do a good job. But even then, I mean, what just happened?
Oh, what?
They got the defusal.
That wasn't even like a ninja defuse. That was just a straight up, okay, it'll get there. Let's go for it. Let's just try. And for a pistol round, having so many people survive at the end. Yeah. I mean, look, we used the word unorthodox already, but this game is just getting more and more wacky by the minute. 3 defuses in a row between both teams.
Yeah.
Maybe now the defensive prowess, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's pushing up a lot more. But we have to keep an eye on Squirtle Squad's lurks, because that was very aggressive for them to retake the site. But they can't go for that every round either. Forced to play a little bit slower here. Governor taking a page out of Ferbs' books, looking to push up through the sky smoke, but no one's there. Boombot only now finding a little bit of contact, but you don't know how many people are on the other side of the smoke.
Poison orb in mid.
Yeah, not a lot of people. I mean, really just coming up here, except for 2. The Rat Attack, they're managing to try to make this work. Okay, a run and gun from Governor. And it works out pretty good, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, right, you got the better weapons. I mean, may as well just use them here for Squirtle Squad. But, I mean, already making their mark and managing to bring themselves up a bit further. This is great. It leads them a couple points above. And, I mean, all they got to do is just keep going.
Yeah, these wild crunches coming out from Squirtle Squad has worked out in their favor for the last 2 rounds, and they've barely lost any bodies in both of them. So this bonus buy will be interesting now that there's a big weapon difference. But Rat Attack, they've been almost baiting out some of their members to push site. We had seen the group of 2 outside A main, Velocity and Hijinks, just stalling for time while everyone else pushed from Satellite to get that spike down. It's good for money. But when Squirtle Squad are able to win those, you know, more value fights, it's hard to justify just rotating into a site and holding it down and, you know, losing out the fights in the process. But things have returned to normalcy for Rat Attack here, except for Governor.
Oh, he's running.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Okay. Literally by a second managed to miss that out, because if they had caught them there going through the ropes, all right, that would have been an Elon, but still, okay, Adder hitting the headshot, but actually still missing out on the opportunity. The refract comes down, good enough. But at this point where you got the Spectres, you got the Stingers, there isn't really much of that range you can account for, so you've got to go in close.
Yeah, and the bodies are falling fast for Squirtle Squad. They're still holding out to the site. A lot of map pressure, though. Temperature was by himself. He eventually falls. The spike is lost. Rat Attack, they only have 3 left. No map control whatsoever. Everything else has been divided. Keep an eye on Harmful, though. He's going for a mini flank right at the top of tower. It's the only unknown area for Rat Attack could be relatively close to the site. Velocity's good for 1, but now Harmful knows.
Oh, right behind, right above. No, okay, seeing that, that's great. They can pick up a Vandal here. There is some of that distraction being made over towards CT, but we did. I mean, they need to do something about it. A main, not completely covered. And, I mean, you can see Rat Attack, they still managed to get a play it down and still managed to get the win.
This is such a difference from the previous fraction that we casted, where there were some rounds where things began very aggressive, but this round has been B after B after B. Governor and Hijinks just looking for these widest swings humanly possible. The biggest blast pack plays to just completely disrupt the lines of sight of anybody else and take them down. That's 9-6. Only a few more rounds for Rat Attack to possibly take away this first map. Squirtle Squad, though, keeping things competitive. A 2-3 split yet again for Rat Attack. Usually we saw the bait for the 2 down below A main last round, or a few rounds ago, excuse me, but this time the sides have been reversed. Spike now carrying its way possibly towards Satellite, but instead just waiting. Squirtle Squad have been playing very aggressive at the beginning of each of these rounds, and yet there's no appearance this time. That's what they're waiting for. Rat Attack aren't able to find those bullets instead. But Harmful found a ton of info outside B main.
Yeah, not a lot missing here, especially since Rat Attack, they're right on schedule, right? They managed to put some of that util down over towards B, and the silence is starting to get questionable here for Squirtle Squad. But they still stand their grounds.
There is Boombot. That's going to find a wealth of info.
Oh, no.
The Nightfall on top finds those who are on site. Governor's by himself. He doesn't find anything with the showstopper.
Yeah, Paranoia is good, though. It manages to stop them from proceeding forward, which is great. Still so much more time to be able to utilize here. 40 seconds left, and Weeded has the spike. This is dangerous. They're on the other side.
And they're on top of Satellite, too. You can't just climb your way up through A main to get the spike back.
left.
You have to go all the way around the map, but there's no time.
No, but the attacking side looking good. Rat Attack, they are attacking. And with 23 seconds left, right, there is that possibility. This is perfect. This actually assisted in Rat Attack's
One enemy
endeavor, but
remaining.
still the shots don't hit. And it is going to be Squirtle Squad taking this in.
It's not even about where the spike is planted anymore. It's
Yeah.
about where the spike gets dropped. And it was lost at the top of Satellite. And I mean, that was a really good attempt from Hijinks to blast pack your way up. The help of the Cyber Cage too. Disrupt the, making sure that he could possibly safely get the spike and go back down A main for the plant. But when that doesn't work, your hands are tied. And Rat Attack right now, they're trying to find that entry point in, but they're struggling now. The defense for Squirtle Squad, it's been prime and on point. They've been an absolute wild card here. Caverns by themselves on an island, waiting for that haunt. If they can find out this aggression again, they may. The haunt got destroyed, and I don't think it pinged out just yet. So everyone on Satellite should relatively be safe, but it allows enough time for Rat Attack to rotate back over towards B. The cams are set up. The showstopper is out. That is B main control, but you have to worry about someone named Harmful at the bottom of Arcade, waiting for someone to overheat.
Oh, no. Yeah, but Harmful's already working up. Okay, headshots coming down. The angle a bit difficult to fight there for Harmful, especially as they just climb. Waiting to pull out the weapon still, though. Right? You get some of that information due for Red Attack. Actually, no, Cypher goes down before it can even do anything.
It's a struggle right now. 2 left alive. Weeded's going for it.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, running
player
it down,
standing.
too. That is hurtful at most, but we did it. And now he's going to try to do for more. Okay, diffuser comes down, and it's perfect on it. There was
Whoa.
some of that tension, but we didn't know how to handle it.
It wasn't we did it. It was he did it.
It was... okay.
Great round. And again, the overextension, the 1v4 that Weeded was able to achieve. And you're just taking a team like Rat Attack by surprise the majority of these rounds. These gunfights that you're not expecting whatsoever. And we thought a lot of that unexpectation would be from having the Omen and the Viper, but no. Someone like we did saying, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. Let's go through the smoke, finding the 1v4. That's how Squirtle Squad were able to take these renegade fights and bring it nearly to a tied game. All they need is one more round. And if they can keep the unpredictability going, it's gonna be a tough road ahead for Rat Attack.
Yeah, they've been taking a lot of slower approaches here on the attack. I feel like I haven't seen, as much aggressiveness as we saw on Squirtle Squad with those very fast, positioning moments, but still coming up. Okay, this is what I wanted to see, right? That fast distance coming along. They dropped the Viper Spit to try to at least get drop. Completely settled down, so some fear is being pushed around alongside Squirtle Squad.
But look at this re-engagement towards the top of Satellite. It's only 2, but 2 valuable players at that. The Viper Spit for Velocity, holding the site back.
Yeah, but still taking it out. Velocity comes down right around just outside. This is getting dangerous. I mean, the gameplay, you got a 2v2 slowly dissipating. The health is going down. Okeanos right behind you. Temperature, you're so low, and it's over with. This would have been around 1 if they had just completely secured the site.
But it was hard to secure the site, though, because the Viper's pit was down. Had that pit not been there, we would have seen possibly Governor and Weeded tag team along, remove Satellite, drop down, and go for the crunch that we've seen so often. But that's the That's what you're not expecting on Fracture. You're not expecting a Viper to hold the post plant with Viper's Pit. That meta's gone away for a long time. And yet now suddenly making that appearance back, you're not expecting so much coverage of the site to just be goo. And look at this response. Squirtle Squad are opting for the save. The first one, I believe, for the half. And Rat Attack are not engaging. A squad v squad battle. Right outside the small distillery of Fracture. The Viper's Pit, the wall, excuse me, goes down. Harmful's still looking for that contact. Keep in mind the weapon difference. It's almost as if Squirtle Squad are forced to push into this. And they may be good for the trades, but they're holding back. They hear some gunshots. They know at least someone from Rat Attack's nearby, but they don't know how many. Cyber Cage goes down, relinquishing the map control gained by Squirtle Squad as they push back onto B. They're getting off B side entirely.
Oh. Yeah, and this is, again, like a risky rotation. But they're leaving one on, okay? And some of that util information you've heard, everybody coming back around Squirtle Squad. This is the time, if anything, to try to get yourselves resituated. The right clicks! I mean, it manages to get one, tried to utilize the ultimate before it went down, but didn't.
Temperature.
And now Temperature works around the back. This is it for Temperature. Can they manage to catch everybody off guard for the sake of Rat Attack? You're 10 and 8. Down in the lead. This Sid Cabbage is helping you. Help them, for God's sake. Right behind you.
1
Watch
HP.
along. Just 1 HP. And it's over with. That's the win.
Even for Squirtle Squad, that's still a victory in your book. You
Yes.
remove so much money from Rat Attack at a time where they desperately need it. Yes, there are buys, sure. But now that both teams can buy those rifles, that Squirtle Squad can remake history again. With the weapon differential they had before, now on an even terrain. They may be good to kill the economy for Rat Attack here, win 11-9, and possibly turn the tides that bring this to an even game. It's not too late just yet. The Rat Attack are playing close together again. Looking for that early info in case anyone swings out. The answer's no. Harmful, almost by himself on site. It's at or behind, playing in case Harmful does go down. There's that aggressive play outside Satellite too. Almost no presence on A except for a mini retake. Rat Attack have options here. But Cabot's slow descent into the underbelly of B makes me nervous, but he's in the most safe spot of the entire map.
I mean, after the last round, you know, you got to have some of that caution and keep those precautions. Squirtle Squad, right? I mean, still trying to play a bit more together as I've seen before. There is a fight. I mean, just waiting to be taken here over towards B, but also A, you know, that slow inch up. Nobody's there.
No. The only person close to being there is going to be Okeanos, and they may be in the distance to hear footsteps or maybe some utility, but everyone else is floating. The Aftershock is called, though. Everyone's returning back over to A. But look at this. It's a disengagement from Rat Attack. All that space that Cabot's created, Gompers, could be good to secure. Maybe an arcade play here. The rope's an option.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, still expanding out some util too over towards A to keep this rotation. They're going in quick, but the thing is, Cypher v Cypher has to happen. What's gonna happen? Harmful here. Okay, Hijinks is coming in to make sure that they can take care of the pain, but Harmful right behind. They drop down. Cabbates doesn't even know at this point. You could have turned around and taken that fight, but did it? The Cypher v Cypher.
The spike's not down yet.
Nothing yet. 6 seconds though. Orbital Strike ends it off. Yeah, they're not getting this one. He tried it, but he didn't get it. That was... Okay, that was a valiant effort. I really gotta give it.
I mean, it was so close, and that was some of the largest brain macro-level play I think we've seen from Rat Attack. I'm sorry, from any team really on the attack for Fracture thus far in opening quals. The slow lurk ending so unceremoniously by Harmful into the orbital strike at the end. The coordination was there, but they weren't anticipating the fast rotate from Squirtle Squad.
This is a nice spot.
And now, Governor does have that showstopper. Okeanos so close to the Rolling Thunder, too. The Ultikami a little bit better on Rat Attack's side, but still a long ways away from anything fruitful. And it's just a slow game. The nerves returning once again. Showstopper's not going to amount to anything at all. It's all that slow crawl to A again.
Yeah, still 3 players B. I mean, 3 players A. Oh, he's coming back down. Oh, managed to actually catch on to something, but I mean, not really much to go off of. We did slowly repositioning themselves to give away from where they were previously. Oh no, but the paranoia is so dangerous. We did sit in the corner, peeking out a bit too early, but still. Okay, they managed to get the one velocity down. No more smokes for them, but they still have temperature to really account for something. 3v2. Governor left alive. Still trying for something. Okay, the boom bot down with them, so still actually putting some of that impact down.
Harmful only has a judge. He has to get up close and personal for both of these fights.
Oh, they can. They still have a camera to use to get information. They're not using it. They're just going to go in, not knowing anything. Of course, temperature just right underneath what could have been known. I mean, it really just isn't.
Match point.
And finally, that rambunctious A play finally works out for Rat Attack. It took so many rounds. It took the Into the Shadows ultimate from Temperature to find the info needed and teleport back, and still the engagement happened. For Squirtle Squad, it's in their court right now. What do? Do you just push A again? Because it seems like Rat Attack have only like 3 or 4 distinct options for their early game, and each of these times, Squirtle Squad has not been able to read it properly. Though they do have the majority of them outside of A main here. Governor could be on the case. Viper's orb for the lineup is there. The Boombot, no vision seen at all. But again, it all seems like a big bait. Just keeping those at A main where they're at and allow that push towards B. It's going to leave Harmful by themselves. Only a Bucky, no less. A single Phantom for Squirtle Squad to work with here. What very well could be the final round for them in the first map of this series.
Yeah, again, I mean, at this point, they should know, right? There is an iteration of Harmful kind of sticking here towards B. They know where the util is. They know Harmful might be sitting just within tower. Okay, this is great. They get that information from Cavern. Then again, Rolling Thunder comes through. They weren't aware of it. The spike isn't even down yet, and Governor comes behind. The spike dropped. It's theirs to take here for Squirtle Squad. But the fight still left remaining. Velocity sitting down in the corner and completely caught out. Governor is the star of the show. And I don't think it's going to end positively here for anybody on Rat Attack. Yeah. It shoots flawless, Keg.
Yeah, what a close call. Again, another chaotic round. Like, there's like a 0 point, there's the orbital strike. Literally, you cannot approach B site without literally everything in the kitchen sink being thrown at you. But now, here's the good thing. If you're a Squirtle Squad, well, you don't have to worry about those ultimates anymore. There is a neural threat for Cabots. That's about it. Velocity is so close to that Viper's Pit. And depending on how this next round goes, that Viper's Pit could go back down on A main again. Rat Attack have found a lot more success grouping up together, a lot less aggressive lurking potential. 0 point's not going to spot much, but this is a full take towards Satellite. And this is the one time Squirtle Squad, they have no presence in spawn or even close to Satellite. It's all engaged towards A main, almost as if they've read the play.
Oh, and they're still coming up. They're crossing here. Oh no, but the slow backup. Unfortunately, We Did is left alone. Nobody there to protect, but We Did can handle it themselves. They put down the stim beacon and they don't let it go. It's theirs. They take the 5 and it's done with. Nobody's going down just yet. Rat Attack has gotten annihilated.
A C-Tex ace for We Did. Good lord, what a miracle play to keep yourself in the game. Only one more round now to divide out overtime. We Did again, the clutch master of this series. There's always one, it's him. Just dividing, conquering, finding everyone there. And a classic to end it all. No shot. And now, showstopper. The orbital strike. So much to deny Rat Attack for that push towards B. You know they love to go for it. Orbital strike has come down almost every time it feels like it's happened. And We Did's returned with it again. And that means B could absolutely be locked down. You see him already pushed up on B. He's ready. He's waiting. We Did's thirsty for more.
I would be as well. After like a play like that one, you gotta keep going. I mean, We Did was waiting for their moment, but this is it. Orbital strike to push back, and they still managed to do the work. Some of the damage down. Hijinks, though, having the site completely, and this is great for Rat Attack to take that positioning, but right along Outer Seas and Okeanos alongside that synergy has just been perfect for this team. Keg, what is going on with Squirtle?
Squirtle Squad found their comfortability. They're taking the fights now so much more confidently than we saw at the beginning of this game. And Rat Attack, it really felt like they fell into a rut. They kept going for the same approaches round after round for their attack. Okay, maybe if we try pushing Arcade and have a lurk somewhat in A main, maybe that will work. But any combination of that just started getting confidently read into by Squirtle Squad. They were expecting those fights, and if the fights weren't there at the beginning of the round, okay, we play for retake. It seems so complex, but Squirtle Squad boiled it down.
Yeah. Again, it's also like, you know, you were at match point for so long, Rat Attack, it was in their hands, but there was some of that impatience that came through where it was like, hey, it's now or never, it's now or never. But then again, not really taking the time to think about what is wrong and what is Squirtle Squad doing differently. They were really just using all of the util possible, putting that onto the site, getting Governor to just run it down, and that worked.
It did. Here's the thing though, we have to swap sides now. Squirtle Squad's on the attack again. They struggled here at times. Rat Attack, they found a lot of success again with the Omen and Viper. Not something you expect too often, especially with a very fast comp like you do with a Breach, a Raze, and a Brim. Viper's really good about shutting that down. And you double up a site with both Cypher and Viper's util there, no place is safe. And that was the big struggle that Squirtle Squad had to hurdle over one more time, and they're playing right into its game. That flashpoint's already ready for when the timer hits 0.
Right there.
At best, if you're Squirtle Squad, you may have to just outpace the utility drop from Cabbits and Viper. But no! Flashpoint comes out and there's nothing. It's all a big fake. The 0 point doesn't connect at all, but no, it's a rotate over towards A, but the Prowler discovers Squirtle Squad regardless.
They gotta keep a hold of this one. I mean, at that point, right, Prowler comes through, they know they're there. There hasn't been such a heavy rotation just yet. If they're gonna commit to this, there has to be something coming out from, whether it be Adder, right, to give those suppressions in, but of course, the paint shell comes through, it pushes them back a bit, they're scattered, Cavern can do whatever he wants at this point, but doesn't! Stuck between, okay, manages to back off. Again, this is the time to give yourself the lead off, to be able to take things even further. But, I mean, at this point, it's a standstill.
A-Site is a war zone right now, and Hijinks has the high tower to work with. We're just barely hiding.
Oh, the smoke is gonna dissipate too. In a couple seconds, and it's gone. Just up above, down below, took the wrong angle, instead going for the person who wasn't even looking. Harmful. Didn't even go down, it was we did that took their back alongside Squirtle Squad. They were down in the dumps before, but right now they're feeling good about themselves and wanting to go even further.
And there we go, the coverage is there. Okeanos removes yet another from the table. 2 left alive, Velocity of the snake bites might come in clutch, but no, it doesn't stall. The plan is just too far out. Orbital strike to stall even more to prevent the spawn push.
It actually pushed both of them back too, which is immaculate. Oh no. Still a lot more. Okay, manages to take out the suppression. Cabate so close, Keg.
Oh, wow. A bunch of micro fights of bringing themselves to a giant battlefield. That orbital strike not only pushed back everyone for the defense back into spawn, it promoted so much for Squirtle Squad to push up alongside the ultimate. Already, we saw so many people harmful, we did in very dangerous positions for the attack.
Yeah.
But that gigantic sphere of fire that you can't contest, that just made sure the retake would not work at all. And now Rat Attack, they gotta make magic happen again. They were in the lead for so long and now it's slipped by them. They need this attacking round. They don't have, well, Squirtle Squad doesn't have that same utility. They don't have Viper Wall. They don't have the potential teleporting mechanics that Temperature can use. But Squirtle Squad are great on retakes, and they stacked up 4 on A just for that. But if that push comes to shove, Gompers, if it ends up on B, Harmful is so good for clutching it up, and there's a 4-person retake waiting.
Yeah, but that's a lot of util actually completely put onto the site that nobody's at. I mean, still really, there's such a big struggle going towards B, and they take their time here, but is this a mistake? They've wasted so much.
And now they're rotating back over to A, and this is the belly of the beast. Squirtle's going to have not rotated at all. They're still hiding out on A. Talk about double contact. Talk about quadruple contact. But they start rotating right at the wrong time. 40 seconds left, still floating around. They're not too far out of the picture. With no silence, no noise at all. It's up to Governor to really give tell about what the execute's going to look like.
Oh, too many players. Oh, but temperature. Okay, putting smokes out where it doesn't need to be and still manages to get one. It was the raise on raise going down, so kind of like an equal loss at that point, but still having to fight forward. 14 seconds left. And no utility, ultimates, whatever, to be used here. But the Viper's pit down. This is it. We did just within it, and it's perfect velocity. This is the time for Rat Attack to really bring things back up. But who's going to clutch it up? Can it be Adder? Can it be harmful? Putting the camera just within, and the noise is hard. Adder in a good position. And this is it. This is the big spot. Still the one within CT, one in main. I mean, what's going to happen just above? Okay, but the paranoia didn't hit, and it's done with. That was so close.
It all came down to that final paranoia. Not even if it did miss, it still displays the final 1v1 for Temperature to find the strike.
Absolutely.
And that Viper's Pit is lethal as ever on A. You cannot push that and have info. And this is not a map. Despite what you might think because of how large it is, it's not a heavy info-based map. It's a contact-based map. And all that info usually leads to contact, and you've used it well before getting into the pit. And he didn't have that option there. We go over once again for overtime. Round number 2, 13-13. This time a big adjustment. Velocity playing aggressive next to Black Box. The contact's made off of Cabot's camera. Cyber cage could be activated at any moment for the spray down.
Camera taken out.
Again, having to keep in mind velocity right here, right? Only 2 mollies, and the pick is perfect. They timed that together. And again, right, teamwork makes the dream work, and that's why Rat Attack, I mean, they made it this far already. Round of 16, not wanting to be knocked out into the lower. And of course, wanting to win that first map that is theirs. Again, right, it really is just a big struggle on the attacking side here for Squirtle.
The spike is lost, and so is the round. Rat Attack now inch out their own 14-13 and take match point. Again, this is all for map 1. There's still a whole series to play. We gotta get ourselves prepped.
Yeah, you gotta take a little stretch or something. Everybody needs to stand up and stretch. It's been a while, but seriously though, it's, I mean, pretty immaculate what we've been seeing. We did quite literally clutched up so many times for Squirtle to be in a position like this one.
Squirtle Squad's playing a dangerous game though. They played down below A main last time around for their overtime defense. Now they're playing it safer, playing off timings, looking for impact outside satellite. Caverns way far away from everyone else, but takes the slow rope right back over. Look how separated out Rat Attack are. Everyone playing their own little game at the moment just for info. And they have no idea. They're just on the other side of those ropes. Just where Cavern has crossed. There was some others. It was Governor looking for that strike. But this could be the reverse crunch. That tripwire. Huge right now to prevent things from happening. Oh, underbelly. Governor jumps over the tripwire.
Oh, they don't even know that Governor's there. Just in the wind and gone at that point.
What a
But
phantom.
they're still slowly coming up. Oh, they still hold this. We did. Playing off the contact of Governor. This is perfect. The team still manages to take out the 2, and this isn't over yet, even though it's coming down in OT. You got the showstopper. And it really does its job.
30 seconds
It's up to
left.
Temperature now to really take this 1v3. Yeah, everybody coming along. Nobody's going to even take the time to wait.
And it all happened, Gompers.
Overtime.
Yeah.
By jumping over a tripwire. We talked about how information is more contact based on this map. The only sort of info you can find
This is a nice.
is that tripwire off-site. And it didn't work. So now there's that doubt placed in the minds of everybody for those backside lurk plays. And Harmful isn't even going to go for it. Setting up one tripwire outside A main. And the top of the map is completely barren. But there might be a reason for that. And that's because no one on Squirtle Squad's opting to go for that upwards part of the map. No arcade push, or so it would seem. It's again the great escape. Sneaking your way under the map, right under the noses of Cabots. That Viper wall was right there, placed down below the camera. The contact one, it's gone.
Yeah, really just taking advantage at this point, the defense of being able to have the ability to retake. There's still 2 players left down in A because they have that trust in Rat Attack right now. Playing on that defense, but then again, right, the rotation has to come in quick, and they're planning to go around the flank there from A, but everybody's already on the site.
And look at that extra tripwire. Is that in spawn? I think it is. Right on. Yes, it is. Right on top of where that sky smoke was. Anyone that just haphazardly rushes through will be meeting the barrel of Harmful. This is a massive post plan for Squirtle Squad.
Not only that, but the flank is completely there. I mean, Okeano's taking a 1v2. This is it. Orbital Strike comes down on site. Chaos ensues, but Okeanos doesn't know that there's somebody else right behind. Isn't aware. But then again, Cavern left alone. I mean, Squirtle Squad, can they take the lead? They do. And they're better on the defense here for Squirtle. So is Rat Attack done with?
Switching sides.
I don't know.
Match point.
Rat Attack right now, for their attack, has to pull something wacky out of their pockets.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we saw Governor go and just get a 1v4, bypassing utility. We saw an unusual Cypher tripwire placed in the spawn practically for Rat Attack on their own defense. And I keep harping on those agents. That Viper, that controller Omen, they're going to be the difference maker here. They're the win condition for both sides. And if they're a util, their impact is not found. That's what's going to cost this overtime victory for Rat Attack.
Oh, Harmful. Actually, this is different. They're approaching differently here on the defense. They said, listen, we take too much time for ourselves. Let's do something else. Adder pulling such a good job waiting for the team. Wait just a second longer, but the spike is down. It's done with Cavern coming through the ropes. Look behind you. Cavern just shot him through the ropes.
What is going on?
Cavern. No, that. Okay, I don't know how you could just shoot a headshot through the ropes, but it's okay. I guess it happens from time to time.
And now all that's left in a round that was dominantly in the favor of Okeanos, or the Squirtle Squad, is now down to Okeanos. By himself, fully util to work with, yes. Double flashes, an aftershock, perfect for the top of the tower, but he's gonna opt to use it on Spike itself. No idea about where the last 2 are alive or hiding. The Nightfall comes out. Rough idea about the fade, but Cabot's unknown.
Should have never been put in a position like this when Okeanos should have had 3 players alive. But down in ropes, taken out 2. Unbelievable, the flash, and Cavern still manages to pull the impossible.
Switching sides.
Another overtime. Another one. And we talked about it, though. That Rat Attack had to bring something wacky out of their pockets to really succeed and go above and beyond. And they did. I mean, the role play was unbelievable there. And it was, it is like, it's, I don't want to say the plays are devolving down in just weird gunfights, but it kind of is. That's what's defining this map so far.
Yeah.
They're
trying for something different.
Yeah. It's like, okay, as an attacker, what can we do that no one on the defense will expect? And there's that lurk again. The Prowler doesn't spot out Harmful. Still with an op, no less. No tripwires. Except for one.
Oh, no. Kind of getting stunned out by the teammate there, but it's okay at the end. Okay, still manages to pick out a fight of their own. And everything looking good for Squirtle once again. But, you know, we've been in this iteration before. Even if one wins one, what's going to happen the next? Harmful. Bringing out the op. That's the difference that we're seeing in the place. It's aggressive nature. It's the operator coming in on the attack for Harmful.
And now you're down to 2. Double snake bites are out, trying to create that space, and there it is. Adder's gone. Governor's still on top of the tower there. Velocity has to make a dream happen. A 1v3. Every corner secured.
Can't do it. Too many players, too many angles. Ups and downs, side to side, yeah.
It's a topsy-turvy game, a topsy-turvy map, and a pendulum swing for that match point. Squirtle Squad's back on the defense, though, for match point. We're either going to see a 17-16, a 15 game, or maybe we go 16-16. Round 32, Gompers. And the first map of this series.
Here.
Match point again. right? When we think about it, we've been at this stage for a while. These players must be getting tired of the same map over and over again. Hence why we're seeing some weird creativity here.
You might as well.
It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable.
Speaking of creativity, look at the top of this map. You have you have Cabot and you have Cavern just waiting for either the rope play or just waiting for someone to either push up any sort of angle into them. And it might work.
Are we still watching cams though?
Yeah, I know, but look
Not
how far.
even watching Cavern.
Bring them down.
Good disengagement from Squirtle Squad. They understand the value of this round, having the match point. They can't lose silly gunfights like that.
Yeah, nothing lost yet. Okay, Adder, though, not even pulling out a suppression. Not even trying to push these players back by making them not even able to utilize that utility. Instead, it's up to Harmful to really try to push themselves up. But I'm surprised. They're not using their primary weapons. They're trying to pull out the secondaries and shoot it around like it's going to help them win the game. But then again, I mean, a 1v2, Okeanos left alone. They didn't clutch up the last one. Can they clutch this? With 30 seconds left, they got enough time to be able to think about it. Despite not even down him at Cabate's peaks and take this win. I am... How long are we going to be here?
I'm putting some coffee on.
It's a while, honestly. I mean, 16 for good luck, right? Since it is the upper round of 16.
Yeah, good point, good point. What's there to say? We have to wait and see. 16-16, a reset again for overtime.
Yeah.
Same exact placements for Rat Attack on the defense again. B-site once more for Squirtle Squad, attempting to make possibly the impossible happen. What difference can we see this time for the counterplay? Governor's been great about the entries. The tripwires are different this time though for Cabots, much closer to the site. Velocity's been hit out by the 0 point though. Governor makes his way back into spawn. Same exact play yet again for Squirtle Squad, and Adder's there for the trade. Cabots falls. No util left for the site. Full retake should be abound by Temperature. He's good for one. Everyone else is forced to back off. Temperature falls, and look who's left. It's Hijinks and Cavern. They're forced to go all the way through for the back of Satellite to Arcade. To fight the 2v3.
Camera is destroyed. Here.
Yeah, not a lot of space being taken here, though. You can see Harmful really just holding the angle. Right now, all he has to do is hit the shot. Not even the preparation there. Okeanos didn't have much util to assist, so Adder has the back. Now they're leaving too much space for the taking. Cavern taking the angles again. And, you know, you can't trust Cavern. With the role play that we saw before, they could quite literally jump and spray and probably hit the shots as well, like that! The headshot comes down, and they're using the shorty to take the advantage, but it's Squirtle Squad. I mean, luckily enough, Harmful, crouch peeking, and being able to take that away.
And we're 33 rounds in, Gompers. At this point, you have to consider the fatigue for the players. More often than not now, in the later resets of these overtimes, we're seeing Squirtle Squad get that match point. It's more of a game of endurance now. Rat Attack, I'm sure, obviously, looking to find victory in this first map. But it feels like, to me, they're playing just to keep the score even.
Yes.
They're looking to keep it competitive, stay in this game. And if the endurance is a factor, delay the inevitable. No armor at all for Temperature. Keep an eye out for that. There's a lot of armor. Oh no, I'm sorry. There is armor. I read it wrong. But you know what? There's no op this time either from anybody else. And the setup for Cypher on A is a great counterplay. Harmful hasn't done this yet before, especially this outwardly.
Oh, Harmful. I mean, same positioning as before. I'm pretty sure these players are actually going to read into this because this is a pretty popular spot for the side of Squirtle. What's going to happen here? Yep, they already know what's going on. They read straight into the minds of Squirtle Squad, but then again, right, they lose two. You lose two as well.
A 2v3. Squirtle Squad having no space at all for the retake. It's up to Governor now for this late lurk to maybe catch somebody off guard, but look at Velocity. Doesn't have the angle anymore, forced to hide away.
Last round for Squirtle Squad as well. If they win this one out, they... Oh, no.
No.
With the miss? No, that would have been huge. That would have been the moment that they needed. Okay, uplifting it, but still being able to take it out. And no! The pinch out, the pushback, and eliminate Velocity had just been given away, and we can't do anything about it. We're gonna keep going. And you're not going to bed.
Over.
No.
Ever.
None of us will go to bed. The cookies and milk are still down on the table, but they've gone soggy and sour here as we go 17-17. And one thing to keep note is that when we were early on in these overtime resets, a lot of the rounds that ended were pretty big in one team's favor. We're talking 2 left alive, 3, 4 left alive, but now it's ending in 1v1s. A lot more solo plays, a lot more lurking potential. Governor, a perfect example of it. And then we're back to B again. Viper wall's down, early contact made, but the Governor's not able to find the capitalization there. He may be able to govern some lands, but he's not able to take over B. Back down under into the sewers of this map yet again. Cabins is taking a page out of Squirtle Squad's book, though. Full setup on A. Governor, though, when it has been engagements like this going towards B, he's been fast to push in the spawn. There's no stopping power, no tripwires on B. It's up to Hijinks instead to find that first contact off of the nade or even just peeking.
Oh, they genuinely don't know right now. Governor doesn't even really get pressured in by that smoke, peeks out by themselves, and honestly, that creates a situation that you don't want to be in. Okay, but Okeanos knows this is the time where we push in. Somebody's gone down, they know we're pushing, so let's execute.
My ult's ready.
Orbital strike already in tow, directly onto the spike. It might be a sacrificial maneuver. Oh no!
Oh,
Oh,
I'd
but
be
no,
afraid
it's not a
about it, though.
sacrifice. All that's left is temperature. A single shrouded step.
the
Few
smoke
sec-
is gonna dissipate.
Yeah, I know. I think maybe he was waiting for the timing for his smoke to appear again. But at that point, a 1v4.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think this will
I'm
go
thinking.
18-18?
I don't want to jinx it. I'm scared to speak. I need a lawyer if we're talking.
I want to see us get the round 40.
Keg,
I know.
I'll kill you.
I know. I'm a monster, I know.
That's terrible, Keg. Oh my gosh.
That would be
That'd be
cool.
exciting. I mean, they'd be tired. I mean, as they probably already are at this point, but they're still fighting through that mental. Oh no, the temperature. Don't take that. Get yourself out. The reposition. They didn't even smoke it. Instead, they committed to something else, but unfortunately enough, you know, you got that KO suppression coming down. You can't shrouded step your way out of a position like that one.
No. The
Marvel
0
does
point
good.
god temperature. And this is looking like it might be the end. Spike goes down, sure, but a 2v4. Very little info.
Ooh. A little info, but not too little shots.
No way.
Player stand.
There's no way you can get out of this one. Okay, Squirtle Squad, this is it. They won it out. Cake, you're done for this. At least this game. Listen, there might be another OT as we know it, but then again, Squirtle Squad, right? This is the first game of the round of 16. Okay, we got a couple more, but honestly, what are your thoughts? What are your
Hard to believe that was the first map of the series. I mean, who knows? I mean, with how closely played, especially the overtime was for both these teams, we could very well see a long overtime for map number 2. But when it comes to Fracture, it's a lot more nuanced about, you know, the big brain level of plays, like how do you rotate? How do you take those sites? And the unorthodox plays, again, for having a Viper and an Omen there for Rat Attack. Certainly, I'm sure, for a few rounds threw Squirtle Squad off guard.
Yeah.
But after a while, you counterplay that. You read into that so quickly. But I have a special surprise for you, Gompers. As we
What
let
is
these
my
replays
surprise,
pop
Kay?
out. What's up?
What's my surprise?
Well, the unorthodox picks don't stop at Fracture.
Okay.
They keep going into Ascent. I don't know what we're going to expect to see if it will allow us to have another near 40-round game.
One enemy remains.
But good lord. Aces, 4Ks,
enemy
everything you could hope for, Gompers, all brought on a single map.
Exciting and very, very tempting, I have to say, due to what we just saw. But I do think Rat Attack, right, coming this far, obviously, into the round of 16 and just making a good showing out of it. I mean, this was probably the most exciting game that we've gotten today. So even then, right, whatever happens next, they managed to, honestly, I think really just impress everybody's hearts at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And something tells me we probably need to take a small little break to get ourselves reset to, and especially the players, because we still have possibly 2 more maps to look at. Ooh, but good luck, guys. We'll see you on the other side.
To some, this is nothing more than cardboard and ink. But to those who know, these are precious metals, rare gems. A full set it took 15 years to complete. Low pop rookies, hypnotizing hollows. One of only a handful in the universe. Or an heirloom to look after for the next generation. No matter what you collect, raw or graded, to have and to hold, or to crush your opponents with, what matters is that it's real. Introducing eBay's Authenticity Guarantee for trading cards. Our third-party authenticators inspect every detail of your card and compare it to the listing to make sure it's the real deal or no deal. Because we know just how much your collection means to you.
you can stay in control of your thumbsticks. Natural evolution gave the gecko its amazingly strong grip. Our multi-patented SetX technology duplicates the microstructured fibers on a gecko's foot for a revolutionary new way to get a grip on game controller thumbsticks. Like a gecko's foot, the thousands of microstructures on each SetX anti-slip thumbstick grip provide high friction to the skin surface for a secure, comfortable grip, even when sweaty, giving you a competitive advantage. Stay in control with the secure and comfortable grip of SetX thumbstick grips. Inspired by nature, perfected by science.
The game starts long before the game starts. You get your gear right, your keyboard, your controller, your controller's controllers, and the keys to your keyboard. Because warm hands are faster hands. Gain the upper hand and power up your pregame warm-up with Zippo hand warmers.
Welcome back, everybody, to Last Chance Qualifiers. It's nice to see your face. You look different. Did you do something? Did the break help you? You look refreshed. Anyways, we're back, and I'm excited. I'm Gompers. I'm here with Keg. Keg, we saw a long matchup, but a very awaited matchup.
It was a long matchup. I thought we were going to hit 40 rounds, but who's to say we won't hit 40 rounds on the next map? But the big defining factor for Rat Attack's side, again, we talked about this ad nauseum, was the Viper and the Omen. When you have something just a little off meta, your enemy team's not going to be expecting what the lineups or the strats or the plays are going to be. And that's probably going to continue into map number 2. We have Ascent coming up next. And let me tell you, Rat Attack, they have a very, very odd way of selecting their agents.
I'll let you handle this one. You were pretty excited talking about it.
See, I thought I could time it for the agent select. I think we were a little too early. That's okay, though. Imagine the most unlikely duelist you could possibly see on this map. One that you would have normally way back in the old days of Fracture. Come over to Ascent. And I'll just spoil right now, in the past, the last 11 times Rat Attack have played this map, 91% of those being the wins in their favor. They played Neon. A Neon on Ascent. Like,
we love Neon on Ascent. We love it. We truly, I don't think I've ever seen a Neon on Ascent, to be honest
I'm not
with
against
you.
it. like it's not like it wouldn't work. Like it's not like a checkmate or anything, right? But I'm just thinking, like, how do you find space on the attack as a Neon? Now, Neon defense, normally I'm not a big fan of Neon on defense. There are some maps where it can work really well, Pearl being one example. But similar to Pearl, there's a lot of rotatability that can be used if you're on the defense or, well, I suppose on Ascent. So if we can have a fast rotate from a Neon, really finding aggressive contact every single round, regardless if it's attack or defense, then yeah, Neon's gonna work great. But when it starts getting counterplayed, that's where I get nervous, Gompers.
I'm not sure. I think if you play the Neon to its intended use, right? Just really going in there, not being scared, being fearless, and just being that leading factor for the team, I think it's going to work out great, especially on Ascent. You really just got to go in at the end of the day, because Neon's util is meant for those heavy frags, is meant to really offset players and maybe get those stuns through, right? So when you think about situations like those, I definitely think if that player is aggressive, or if we even get to see the Neon in I guess real time, you know, putting that into perspective.
I mean, look, it's not something we haven't seen before. If they play fast, they go for the fast, executes. It's literally just a small version of Fracture.
Yeah.
But at least with Fracture, there's 3 lanes to work with. There's no giant rope spot in the middle where there's some wild plays that happen in overtime. But I don't know, because I feel like with a heavy Sentinel presence that we've been seeing a lot of open quals and last chance qualifiers, I could see a reality where someone locking in a Cypher on the enemy team just shuts it down every single round. And what the maximum impact that you get from Neon won't be apparent. And that's my big fear going into this, if there is a Neon.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, with the plays that we saw before, I don't think it's out of the question. I think when things started to get rolling, you know, these players started to realize that certain things were working, and it was a bit surprising. So I would honestly love to see something different, right?
Yeah.
Coming into the metas, coming into just what we're typically used to. And I think Neon being a duelist, it was for that reason of, you know, obviously Reyna is there for your sole purpose of being that fragger, but then there's the Neon that's your sole purpose of literally just running it down whenever you please and having the excuse to do so, in my opinion, which is why I love the Neon.
And I mean, look, you don't have to run it down every round if you're attacking a Neon either. You can play it slow. And if it's anything like we've seen with Fracture, a lot of teams are opting to, even when they have high mobility, like an Agent with Raze, you don't have to use your blast packs to entry every round. Play together as a squad, relay bolt out, stun everybody on site. You go for the execute and you win, barely using any utility. So there is a lot of depth that could come out here. And again, this is all pretty much on the speculation if we even do see Neon to begin with.
We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Not sure if Agent Select is ready to be prepped up and done with, but while we wait here, obviously, you know, we saw the last game, we kind of could compare and contrast, I guess, in terms of what they both did differently and why things were working out in OT. I definitely feel like it was a bit rough during Fracture.
I mean, where to begin with the differences, right? That whole game felt like it was topsy-turvy, different from anything we've seen before. But
Yeah.
I mean, let's go back to regulation, right? Let's cut OT out of the whole process. It didn't happen, let's say, and that's when a lot of the plays were a lot more structured and pretty like what we were expecting to see. I mean, there was a lot of adaptation. I mean, there was a lot of space control. It's pretty much the fundamentals that we look for as commentators or people that are spectating and watching the games play. That's what you want to achieve as a player. But when you get into kind of wacky town in overtime 5 times in, and you start going for like these aces and like these like almost sacrificial orbital strike plays that it seemed like was going to happen, there's a lot of nuance that you just cannot predict, even at the most microscopic level as a player. And I think that's where a lot of the personalities for Rat Attack and Squirtle Squad shine, is that they're able to bring their own kind of flavor into each round, but they're not overtaking the whole round with their own spice in the soup.
I like that saying, their own spice in the soup.
Thank you.
I do want to see it, right? Obviously, you know, we talked about that underdog story. I don't even feel like there really is an underdog story anymore, right? You got the 2 dogs. They're pretty much on equal terms with each other at this point, butting heads for hours on end until one decides to quit. But the one, I guess I would say the one that quote unquote decided to quit, of course, the last game on Fracture was going to be Rat Attack, but we're coming into Rat Attack's map, right? This is their time. This is Ascent. This is what they've chosen. I mean, looking at the results from last time, they really did push hard on the map of Fracture. So I'm not really sure what I'm looking for here.
I mean, for me, removing all gameplay aside, this was a battle of confidence on Fracture. And if that confidence and not having, you know, 40 rounds under your belt and not being tired out comes into the second map, then yeah, I think we could easily see a map 3. I think a lot of that confidence transfers through the gameplay on top of everything I've said, and that Neon pick could be fantastic for their own map pick, that being Rat Attack. But again, we're still waiting on Agent Select, and we're going to have to wait and see, because I want to see the Neon. I want to see something different again. But you know what this might also promote? Oh, never mind. I was going to say maybe Squirtle Squad's going to go for a different agent too, but let's look down below and see what the agents are going to be, because I'm very curious.
I'm curious as well. It's seeming like, all right, this is previous, right? Hijinks kind of like on that Neon, like you said.
I swear,
You're
Hijinks.
excited for. This is the moment. And you're getting it! Okay, Keg!
Yeah!
Look at that!
So, safety comps then for both teams. They want to stick with what works, and, you know, frankly, I don't blame them after what just happened last game. So, double Omen, no Astra, no Brimstone. I was going to say that having the lack of an Astra is a really pivotal point, but Omen works just as well. If you're sacrificing not having a raise for that verticality, say, for the post plant, you don't have to worry about it then. But because now you have the Shrouded Step to go up above. But enough about that rambling. We're going to go into map number 2 now. One round of, who knows, potentially 40 more here, but it's going to be interesting to see how things are set up because Rat Attack are going for another lack of mid-play. And this is pretty common that we've been seeing in open quals. Oftentimes, the Killjoy pick will be stuck outside of B main alone, but instead, we'll have to keep an eye on Hijinks here because he's looking to maybe just run it down and find space against whoever's on B.
Already preparing, actually, for any close contact that might happen towards B here on Rat Attack. And interesting, I said I wanted to see the approach with the Neon, maybe not that far in, but they had the site, they could have cleared that out.
And look at all that spacing control. You found pivotal info. No KJ util on B side either. Sure, it's on A, but the lurk is already there. Velocity go. Oh, takes down We Did. And now it's just Gunfight City.
Yeah, everybody's already peeking through down inside of Heaven. And again, right, you got to make your mark. The first pistol round kind of sets the tone right now and puts, obviously, Rat Attack in a weird spot, but a 2v2. There still is some time. Not a lot of util. A Shrouded Step for temperature if they want to commit to that, but a right click and a jump that could come down. And it's over with. Rat Attack, I mean, they take the first point on their map.
And that's super valuable info again for Rat Attack. Not only did they take A site control, completely overrun Squirtle Squad's adder, the Killjoy util wasn't that effective. Even Temperature hiding in that final 1v2 there on site used the dark cover, used the smoke to hide out the tippity top of A. And whether he realized it or not, it actually blocked the line of sight of the turret. So while you had 2 players on top of Heaven, you didn't have that reconnaissance of down below. And you may assume it's safe. But here we go, next round. A very typical setup here for a Sense attack. Again, the big question is, what's Hijinks going to do here? A bit of a push-up outside a catwalk. Everyone else standing still. The 4 stack on B may imply they're expecting to have Hijinks run it down yet again, but it's actually Capitz instead. What is he doing? What is he cooking? Oh!
Cooking up the picks, that's what's happening down here. I mean, really just trying to create a diversion again. And that's the thing. They sacrifice themselves for the sake of everybody else, and entrusting your team with a responsibility like that is pretty heavy hitting.
It is, and now with the lack of KJ util in the backside, harmful, good for one, sure, but there is a weapon difference here. Velocity does have that Phantom. If he loses it here, that's going to be devastating. He most certainly doesn't. 3 left alive, though, for Squirtle Squad on the defense. They have to drop down. Good for the trade for one more. And before you know it, everyone's wiped out. But you're right, Gompers. That sacrificial play has been really important, and it almost baited out 4 different members of Squirtle Squad to stay on site.
Yeah, baiting that out, but it's just kind of like an unfortunate, situation with not even being able to afford anything to really give yourself that boost in the anti-eco, but we're coming into this spot where Rat Attack, they need to win this one out. If they don't, they lost the last map. They need to put everything they have into a set. And
keep an eye on where Adder's putting that utility. Now it's stuck on B site. The majority of the play now from Rat Attack heading towards A site. No utility for stopping power. Instead, more bodies stacked up. It's harmful for the first contact. All for this one way.
Still coming down harmful. I mean, all they need to do is play together here with Governor. Timing is of the essence. The moment Governor peaks, I mean, they had to, but the collateral! They should have gotten 1, but they managed to take away 2. The hopes and dreams of Rat Attack, I mean, they lost their smoke and their initiator.
Yeah, not a good start whatsoever. Almost no info left. They have to rely on the recon bolt for Kevin when it respawns. Owl drone goes down. They discover where KJ's util is. A may seem locked out, but B is still an attempt. The turret dies, and so does We Did. A 2v3. No one left unscathed for this round, and yet there's no opportunities to entry on the B. There's Adder up on top of the alarm bot there. Forced to rotate back around to Marketplace. Adder might have the great read here. Not good for one, though. It's time to harmful to just hold down on A site. But with KJ gone, you might as well go B.
Yeah, definitely seeming like the best bet there. Especially with Harmful. I mean, the location already being given over towards A, but again, Rat Attack, I'm, you know, obviously not really heavily surprised that they won that. They invested a lot into this round to be able to win this out.
Yeah, and Cavern going for the old Silver Strat on Ascent, treating the whole map like it's Swiss cheese. Harmful's looking for the pop shots. It's the only thing Harmful can do here. A 1v3 looking for exits. You're already down 2 rounds. This is the buy-up too for Squirtle Squad. The first time Vandals have been shown. And Cavern with that Odin, like you mentioned, Gompers, a big expensive round. It's paying off in dividends.
Working hard to put themselves to the test here. They're just waiting for the exit. Frax Cavern!
No way.
He was like, I know you're there.
No chance for exits. 3-0 for Squirtle Squad. A very, very distinct first start for them. And look at this play if I'm Governor. Hides in the back of Wine, has 2 members, 2 of your most pivotal players, lined up perfectly for a single shot.
Absolutely.
No, and still, Rat Attack are able to convert the round by just rotating. Rotating, taking singular fights, and re-rotating again. And that's what they opt to do.
Cavern's playing Silva Odin now kind of makes sense as to why he managed to hit that rope shot on Fracture. But also, it makes sense as to why this is their map pick. I mean, look how flawlessly they're playing with it already. Cavern is taking more of a passive approach, but the push up here coming down from, you know, Harmful is a bit odd. I mean, do they manage to pick something off?
It's a thrifty round too, so there's not many options that Squirtle Squad have other than just playing in corners and, frankly, kind of being true to their name here.
Oh,
and
they
that
knew.
doesn't work. It's just a battlefield, littering bullets everywhere, and yet no one's engaging from Squirtle Squad. There is the KJ util right outside B main. Everyone for Rat Attack still holding on to hope. I mean, they might as well. They have an Odin and Vandals and whatever you need at their disposal. But here's where we see Hijinks, I think, really shine. Full lane, no util to stop them. Up until now, at least.
And yet Outer, though, still sitting up top. The smoke completely covers them, so it saves their life for now. Although just within the smoke, it is going to be Okeanos managing to hit the shot there with the Sheriff, which is great. So you leave this 2v3. The Phantom in the hand of We Did. I mean, honestly, Outer's so high right now. Yeah, handing that straight over. You could see it on the lower left corner. So now We Did not even having that Phantom anymore.
Look at this lineup potential, too. Even off the recombo, Trigger Discipline coming by. The top of lane, Outer just barely able to scrape past those shots.
Oh no, TPing in a predictable spot, so now Outer left alone to take the fights. Manages to hit one, but a complete turnaround by Cavern. But we were in this situation before, Keg. Rat Attack, they had such a good momentum at the beginning, but then they just kind of started to fall apart.
They did, but consider the fact that this is in Fracture and there's only a few different lanes to push on the map. So for Squirtle Squad, in theory, it should be a little bit easier to anticipate where Rat Attack are going to go next, but they've just been able to outgun Squirtle Squad, and the economy has been bare bones for the team. Look at Harmful here, investing now in Operator. Light shields, of course, too, full utility to work with, but if that Operator dies down without a single frag in its name, the economy is going to be much worse for wear, possibly for rounds to come. It's a big setup, though. Right outside A site. Killjoy util everywhere. This is a perfect setup for Squirtle Squad to bring it back, including the lockdown. No place is safe on A site.
They're still managing to put one down. We did. Peeking out, actually, the moment that lockdown came through. They put a paranoia. They trusted in themselves, and they managed to get something for the team. Still working their way up. Only thing left is an Odin, and the headshot down. But then again, they need to try to get something through the Molly in an attempt to be able to save the lives of others. And there's nothing to do with this. Rat Attack, they lose this round.
And Velocity's fragment grenade could have saved the round, but it was just a microsecond too late. It did eventually take down Harmful. The op was still picked up, but still, on top of that, just the play a few seconds off. But that's the first round for Squirtle Squad. It took a litany of ultimates. It took an entire crunch of the site and a big read to see where Rat Attack would go. But it looks like because of that, Rat Attack are opting to play a little bit more defaulty, farther back from the site, a little bit more pressure towards A, but mid and B site are practically vacant. They're just waiting for the next play. Now there is that 4-stack outside of B site for Squirtle, but they're floating. They're going back and forth and back and forth, A to B, depending on where they feel this invisible pressure could come in from. And Harmful might have the right read. If this turret spots them, that might be the engagement that the rest of Rat Attack are looking for. They pick up the spike, and the dark cover right on top of the turret spots. Perfect for Harmful to position himself.
And he's trying to peek through, but right underneath, Cabates knew what was going to happen. And that's it. I mean, Squirtle Squad, they completely lose Harmful in the attempt to be able to push any further to get that first hand pick. But Hijinks, this is the Neon that I wanted to see. They're not going to push in just yet, but there comes the flash right behind you. They don't even notice. But Velocity with the save. This is big because We won't let it go. And they managed to get the ace. It's over in seconds. That first pick should have been the win for Rat Attack, but We did just clutch so hard for Squirtle.
And this isn't even the first ace that Weeded's had. He's been able to anchor so well in these games. We've talked up so many different anchor players throughout the entirety of these tournaments. And yet Weed has been able to be the most consistent with it, not even on a Sentinel. Just finding these rogue spots where no one happens to be looking and has the great game sense to revert around and find the last two there. What a perfect round from Weeded. And they're gonna do it again! This time faster though, overdrive out for Hijinks, looking to eliminate, especially Weeded.
Yeah, I like this though, being able to really think about the times when you should back out and having that self-control. So Hijinks not going in too far, but also kind of losing the ability to utilize that ultimate at the same time. So, I mean, but obviously an effort that wasn't wasted.
First the overdrive, now the lockdown to preserve the site. This is an important round for Rat Attack, but Hijinks falls.
Yeah,
and the lockdown, this is so effective. It locks one on the site. It's Adder to be hit, but still plenty of info to be found. Nothing from Harmful side. He gets suppressed just in time.
Oof. Again, Okeanos with the Odin, just spraying wherever they please. Knowing the positionings that these players tend to take, but then again, okay, peeking out, leaving it up to Cabates, and they managed to stall for time. The defusal could have come through, but at this moment, that eBay clutch comes down, and it's Cabates. He won't let it die down.
No, absolutely not. Down to the wire, these rounds have become. Weeded especially, 11-4 for the round, or sorry, for the game. Has been able to make B-Site a merciless mess for Rat Attack. Made the retakes so much more complicated than they should be, but yet they're still 3 rounds behind. And so Rat Attack, they don't want to be counterplay just yet. They're going to rotate back over to A and try something new again. With a broken buy, aggression might be the move.
Yeah, harder but stronger there, Governor. Peeking through. Okay, you hear that paranoia, but they couldn't see the shrouded step. Instead, they got the paranoia. Now they got to back off over towards B. The scare tactic worked.
Dark covers go down. Owl drone return. No one's pushing the B site just yet, but there it is. Into the shadows. It's temperature on B site. Hasn't planted the spike yet, allowing more time for Rat Attack to come on and converge. Make sure that Omen can be safe as the spike goes down. And perfect post plant setup. But the Hunter's Fury disrupting everything in the line of fire. Okeanos good for 2. Half the squad now for the post plant for Rat Attack gone. They have to face the entirety of Squirtle squad for the post plant.
Oh, but they're sitting down in Boathouse. Last time this happened, they managed to at least get by on the time. Now, will they do that again? They know they don't want to peek the flash coming out, but is this the correct moment to utilize that flash or that peek? And as they go, right, the victory goes down with them.
What a strong defuse. 3 rounds and eBay thrifty at that. And it came down to the crunch. No one overextended. And that was a lot less of an expensive round for at least Rat Attack not using that many ultimates. But for Squirtle Squad, you can't ask for a better round. Yes, they use Hunter's Fury, but Okeanos fragged out and found 3 in the process. What an expensive, well, I suppose an expensive gain of a round for Squirtle Squad. And what's the return here? Harmful's back on the operator. No one's peeked mid yet, though. So Harmful may be looking to see if there's a counterplay, a new adaptation for Rat Attack. But I don't think that's going to be a reality.
Yeah, both suppressions actually coming up and nothing hitting. So KO Knives completely disregarded, having to wait for that rework to come back up and utilize it again, but Harmful. Okay, but this time, having the operator missing out on the first shot, they completely scared away everybody.
And it almost conditions Rat Attack to re-engage towards A site, and that's exactly where Adder has all that utility set up. Alarm bots, nanoswarms, the turret for first contact, hiding away, popping up like a gopher if it detects anything at all. And this is a broken round for Rat Attack. At best, a stinger to work with.
Still waiting for the perfect moment. Yeah, Harmful's doing great. They didn't manage to get one down in mid, but managed to get one further out, down A main. And everybody is having their own feast. But the smoke actually helps a bit here for Cavern. They can pick up that spike and rotate as they please, but 30 seconds left. Decision has to be made now, and they gotta run for it.
Oh, in the process of just barely grabbing that spike, losing the majority of your health, Cavern's forced to run away. Again, a 1v5. Location revealed. No real time to rotate back over to B. Oh. Man versus the Wild. Squirtle squad now inching closer to even things up as we come towards the end part of the first half. 4-5. Into the shadows. Could be a valuable ult here from We Did. We haven't seen it used just yet. And if it's anything like how Temperature used it to engage on the B side, get that spike down, there could be plenty of either flank potential or even a lot of info that We Did could use here.
Yeah.
Oh.
A lot of potential with the operator. I think in further rounds, honestly, Harmful's going to be a scary person to play against.
Yeah, but you're playing towards B main. And with someone fast like Neon, it might be difficult to find the op shots proper in such a condensed site. Harmful's looking to try, though. He's got his little spotter behind him, too. The help of Governor. Yet no one peeks out of A main. Or even the catwalk. That spike is not dedicated anywhere. No way. Harmful rotates right at the wrong time. Heading on over to A main, but look at Hijinks. Now is the time, playing off timing to slowly push up. Maybe even looking to contest Harmful, but no one's there. Certainly not the operator. It's Governor instead.
Oh, and a good flash from Governor. Actually, you know, pushing back some of these players. Not peeking once more. Hijinks couldn't even really run this up, knowing the KO's sitting around there. But then again, right? Waiting for the countdown to be able to use that suppression once more. Everybody's waiting for the perfect moment to strike, but that 30-second mark, that's when we're going to see that hit.
Keep in mind, too, Adder has locked down. This we covered the entirety of B site. If the spike even gets down there. We Did's ready, though. The savior of B site.
Oh, the silence is deafening as well. They didn't use the paranoia, but that's okay, because they sat right behind it. Governor's going to be that win condition. Although, I mean, easily enough to say, they peek out, they get taken down. Now we just gotta wait for something else to occur. But of course, the suppression's coming down from that null command, just make it a lot harder.
Yeah, and that suppression. Not too sure if Adder's able to use that ultimate yet, but a Harmful's good for one. KJ is suppressed. No chance for the lockdown, possibly this round. Too far deep into to use it.
What?
I can't believe it.
That was 2 seconds worth. That felt like 2 seconds worth of staring at these players, and Harmful is unstoppable. What?
That's not an operator. It's like a musket that Harmful's using.
That is the Odin.
Yeah, it's like the one-shot Odin.
that is Harmful's Odin versus Caverns. I don't know. This is absolutely insane.
And that was off of losing the entry too. Spike still went down into the ground, but props to Harmful. So many solo plays for Squirtle Squad to retake B site. That Rat Attack, again, it feels like it's almost anti-conditioning. Rat Attack don't want to fall into the trap of just pushing A over and over just because they've had some success. They've had failures too, pushing A. But Cavern's ready. Oh, I'm sorry, Okeanos is ready. Harmful's gonna hide again. Very close up and personal with his operator. No way.
Oh, no.
The patience.
Come on, you got an Odin and you got an op operator. What are you going to do with that? Just completely switching out trust in their ability to be able to hit the headshots down through the smoke with the sheriff. Everything. Really just relying on the confidence of this team of Squirtle, and it's working.
Spike's locked out. You can't even rotate towards mid because Adder's there at the top of stairs. 2 to 4. Harmful at 30 HP. The only brevity here could be removing Harmful from the server. But even then, that won't do much when there's still many more forces against you. There it is, 3 combo spots out at least one. Harmful's still ready for the op, and Adder's coming in for the kill. Closing its jaws in for the site. Shock Dart might be good to take that one, but Harmful falls. Temperature's good to push into the site. 9 HP left. Don't know about Adder just yet. It's down to the 1v1.
Oh, this is great. He's going to TP. No, but in due time. The timing.
Wow.
30 seconds left.
Imagine if he canceled it. Shrouded Step goes out. Adder has the right read, running as fast as they can through tree in the catwalk.
Oh, no. Again,
Temperature has no idea.
it's the timing again, Keg. Who's going to win out? No, it's going to be Temperature quite possibly, but the shots just aren't aligned.
Wow. What a play from Adder. Adder all had to do was sit there and watch mid, but turned out to be the MVP of the round. Just barely missing this teleport at the very end. Still finding that impact, and a lot of that had to do with the HP difference. Temperature had the right read, but just didn't have the health to accompany the bullets that Adder was firing out. This is so close to a 6-6. And you know what?
Yeah.
This could very well go to overtime again.
Keg.
Look, I want it to happen. I need to see it.
I mean, I think it'll be exciting, right? Just because, you know, you want to end, first of all, you want to end things off on a high note, number one. And number two, I mean, these two teams are so, I guess, similar skill-based wise.
Yeah.
It just feels so equal.
It's not even a mirror mode play like we saw before in the previous series. These are like different agents. Like there's a Neon here, you know? Like there's a lot more nuance. And a lot more thoughts going through in terms of utility usage. At least one Shock Dart does remove a Nano Swarm, but that's it. Lockdown and return. Good for Harmful on the mini lurk. No way.
Again, he just won't stop at the lockdown. I mean, it really is pushing the back. They decide to go the high angle. The flash actually assisting, and this is perfect. But Governor going in too soon. The second lockdown saving him. But, I mean, they stalled enough for time. It's not 6-6, Gag.
Switching sides.
Squirtle Squad played a very aggressive defense. They were trying to be on top of where Rat Attack wasn't even thinking about pushing from the start of each and every single round. And Rat Attack, at least in the beginning, they had that endurance, they had that momentum. And you mentioned it yourself, Gombridge, we were expecting to see those rounds start off really fast and really dominant and go in Rat's favor, and then slowly have those diminishing returns. And a big factor of that to me was we did. That ace was exemplary.
Yeah, not only that, but overall, right? Like, I feel like I saw something different come out once the operator was completely taken away by Harmful, right? Once the op came out, they started winning round after round after round. And, you know, I talked about it before. This was something that I was excited to see because, you know, Harmful just took such an aggressive stance with the operator to the point where it didn't feel like an op anymore.
No, it literally felt like a bolt action rifle. Like up close, personal, like, I mean, even the Blaze Sword kind of felt like a giant singular knife, just pew, going right into people. But I mean, there was a lot of, like, I don't want to say hero plays because that seems disingenuous. Like, I would imply, like, okay, one person did all the work that round. But it was just utility, supplying and helping the rest of everyone for the defense, making sure they can succeed. And I mean, a lot of that too, we talked about how Neon was being brought out by Rat Attack. Would that affect things? And yes, it did, because it conditioned a lot of Rat Attack to look for opportunities where there wasn't long lines of sight, say Harmful, watching mid, or even A main, and forcing out these more uncomfortable positions that they were almost at times, it felt like forced to push. And not even that. You had the Odin, too, from Cavern to ensure that, like, there was just an absolute spray down no matter where you go.
Overall, too, I mean, you don't really expect someone to just go full in with the operator. So it was like that surprise aspect that was like, hey, what is he doing? And, you know, you're already shot down by the time you realize.
Right here.
Now he swaps sides. Squirtle Squad are doing something that Rat Attack never did. They're engaging towards mid to B, toward the A. And Hijinks falls. Everyone's losing their lives one by one. Temperature's good for one, however, but again, these solo plays. Squirtle Squad are looking dominant here. There's only 2 left alive for Rat, possibly for the post plant.
Yeah, much you can do here is just work out together. Velocity has some good flashes, so, I mean, really throwing this one out, peeking through, but unfortunately enough, too many players, one sitting behind, and Cabates a bit too far for the refraps.
And that was just gunfight versus gunfight. That wasn't even really utility-based for the round. Squirtle Squad, they just went in, they looked for that impact, they blocked everything they could, they found that spike, went into the ground, a very fundamental and technical round from their end. This is where things get interesting though, because we talked about how important it can be for someone like Neon on the defense to rotate very quickly. And now, sure, there's only pistols, but once we get into rifles, we're gonna have to keep an eye on where that invisible space is going to be. Will there be enough time to go for pressure? Maybe a flank? Only time will tell, but it's mid once again. Okeanos trying to find those shots towards Marketplace, but no one's there. Instead, it's back to Catwalk yet again. Everyone 5-stacked, a complete gamble inside of B. And, well, Squirtle Squad are about to find out that not a single soul's on A side here.
It's different, but it's good. Harmful having in replacement the Marshall, I think is interesting, but of course really just trying to give themselves that upper hand, especially in terms of shots, but it isn't looking too good. I mean, you already lose outright. You're able to pick up at least the weapon, a headshot down from Okeanos, so some of that damage is coming through, and it's looking a bit dangerous.
These plays are nasty too. No one can rotate safely from Rat Attack's side. A complete smothering of B side here. Spike goes down on A, but all that's left now, well, was Cabots. Not so much anymore. But Squirtle Squad, they cut noise for the entirety of that round until they found contact inside Marketplace. The positions that we'd seen, we did, holding down tiles, making sure no one would rotate except for maybe full spawn. But anywhere off of that gamble, Rat Attack tried to rotate, they would have made contact. And it made sure the entirety of the right side of the map was very much in Rat Attack's favor. So, what do you do now? The adjustment is that now you have Cabots holding down with that alarm bot inside of mid, turret still outside B main, and a lot more bodies stacked up outside of A.
Yeah, one way coming up again, but nobody really doing anything with that one. It's interesting because compared to Rat Attack, it is really that slow approach due to not having that neon or even just wanting to take things a bit slower. So, you know, they take their time with things, which I think works out, right? Catching velocity off that guard.
Yeah. And now that alarm bot is gone, there's always that potential for a lurk, and we did seems to be aware about hijinks inside of Wine. Good re-engagement. Hammer just holding down A side all by himself, though, but not for much longer. It's looking like double digits now for Squirtle Squad as they get that spike down.
Yeah, and everybody's still sitting over towards B, so I'm assuming, right, based off the looks of it, they have the Odin, they're saving things up, they're waiting for the exit frags.
I mean, it's an expensive round. Cavern used literally all of his credits to buy up that Odin and utility. Like, yeah, you're 4 rounds down, you're about to be 5 rounds down, but this could be a great time to go for a tag timeout. We saw a lot of those on Fracture, but they haven't really made an appearance here, but good lord. Cabot's good for 2. A lot of powerful economy gone, but still 3 left alive. They can go on the hunt here.
Yeah. Sticking to it with the Odin. Cavern, though. I mean, bringing this back out on the defense, I feel like there is going to be a bit more, you know, I would say less casualties for Rat Attack in the future once this Odin starts to really come into play due to not having to utilize that on the attack, being able to keep yourself situated, maybe push, you know, some entries back. But obviously, you got to be able to read the team of Squirtle.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And a lot of it comes down to Cavern's position in the round. If you're forced to retake as Cavern with that Odin, you have to be in a spot where you can probably use your recombo, find proper info, and just melt across the wall with the bullets of the Odin. But if you're not able to do that, it's going to be so hard to find the impact. And Odin now, Cavern, only has the Odin here. Cabot still remains with the Phantom, but nobody else buys. This is a very broken round for Rat Attack, and it makes me nervous. It makes that Odin that we were just talking about so much more susceptible to a 1v5.
Yeah, looking towards things, I think this is good, though. Cavern is holding their ground. The moment you peek, you're going to get taken out. There really is no doubt about it, unless you can try to throw something away to get them off their ground. Although Cavern already trying to push themselves. They know that it's happening. Cavern can't do anything about it. Harmful reading the situation perfectly, but don't peek yet. They haven't checked the corner. And there it is. The timing perfect. Nobody's lives lost other than we did.
The only one left now for the post plan for Rat Attack has a Phantom. It's Adder away from everybody else trying to take tree control. The last two in heaven. They only have sheriffs to work with. And they make it work. Cabot picks up the Odin.
Oh, and this is dangerous now, too. But Adder coming up from right behind. Nobody knows just yet. The headshot, the Odin down. You can't have it anymore. It's not yours to take, but all they need to do is stall for time. They have the shock darts. Okeanos, it's your turn. But they don't know.
What a scary round. Rat Attack, they went for the most broken buy you could possibly imagine. Lose out on the value of that one Phantom and the Odin, no less. And they nearly convert the round. Yes, it wasn't a win for them, but a lot of eco damage applied against the attackers. Squirtle squad, they may be licking their wounds for a while, but in terms of what we see in the scoreline, it's kind of a different story. They're 11-5, and yeah, it wasn't the best win they've had. But if they keep going down to those 1v1s, we may be seeing more ecos. That might be Rat Attack's only chance to bring it back to an even game. Double 0 points come down once more. A lot of suppression, stalling everybody from making that swing around the A main corridor. A one-way setup, and this is great for Hijinks, but chooses not to engage. Instead, a little overzealous for Harmful, hiding in that corner. It promotes everyone else to rotate into mid. And if Hijinks can catch everybody out, this could be gigantic. But if Hijinks falls, you're losing more and more bodies in an already losing game.
Oh, man, yeah. Knowing Hijinks, they were going to peak that. Especially with their aggression and liking to really push themselves the extra mile, taking down the KO. But let's not forget, there can be a resurrection. And the suppression's still coming through. And they're walking straight towards temperature.
But look at the buys left alive for Rat Attack. The Odin returns. A Vandal and a Phantom. Another force buy yet again, and the Odin goes down without impact.
Oh, no. I don't even think... well, I know now. I mean, Cabate's finding them in a weird position, so pushing himself under. Okay, maybe I can catch them off guard here. They're up above. I hear their footsteps. This is the moment. What can I do as a player? But they see my arm, and I'm done. Temperature out, and we're at match point, Keg. We're probably not going to hit OT.
Now, look, I'm not much of a money man, but I think you're right. That was a full buy, 5-11. If you lose that full buy, you're looking at match point, series point. On, again, another Thrifty. Sure, it's not all classics or stingers, but Guardians, a Bulldog, even a Spectre. That's going to make that overdrive and the lockdown from Cabot's very valuable and has to find impact here. Especially that overdrive. It's not brought out just yet, though. The one-way comes out. And yet, it's silence from Squirtle Squad. They understand the stakes here. They don't want to throw away the 7-round lead. The 0 point goes down. Doesn't find anybody on logs or even the tippity top of Marketplace. Weeded's in a great position. Oh my. So much for the overdrive.
Yeah, awesome when I get to see Omens really use their shrouded step to just put themselves in a position you wouldn't expect, and obviously getting those picks out. But look at this, right? You see these picks coming through. They're getting the entry in pretty flawless. In Velocity, they got to reposition. They can't do so through the smoke. Adder somehow manages to find something. But then again, the lockdown's going to be the biggest factor here. It's a 1v4, Keg. We're hitting it. We're finishing up.
Attackers
it's
win.
Done with.
Yeah, a bit of an anticlimactic ending, a bit of a fizzle out there for Rat Attack. But Squirtle Squad, they look consistent, considering they played, what, over 50 rounds this series? They looked consistent from the beginning to the very end there. Harmful, that 4K. Weeded, second ace. And what else is there to say other than, really, it was an endurance diff? just being able to maintain so much overtime heavy late in first map into a second map, damaging the economy irreparably against Rat